Hello, how are you, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to talk about the murder of Kellyanne Bates and what happened to her, and the man responsible for her murder. This is a story about the murder of Kellyanne Bates. But in order to get into it, we need to dive into the past of James Patterson Smith and find out just how it all unraveled. James Patterson Smith, born in 1947, was an unemployed divorcee living among the Gorton area of Manchester. He was a house-proud man and a well-groomed individual. His marriage had ended in 1980 after 10 years due to his violent nature towards his wife. His next relationship was with the 20-year-old Tina Watson, whom between 1980 and 1982 he used as a punching bag. He even subjected severe beatings to her while she was pregnant with his child. She would make a statement saying, "At first it was now and again, just a little tap, but in the end it was every day." He would smack me in the face or hit me over the head with an ashtray. He would kick me in the legs or between the legs. She managed to escape from the relationship, during which Smith had also attempted to drown her while she was bathing. When that relationship came to an end in 1982, Smith then started dating a 15-year-old girl named Wendy Mottershead, whom he also abused. In one incident, he held her head underwater in the kitchen sink in an attempt to drown her. In 1993, Smith began grooming Kelly Bates when she was 14 years old. He would meet her while she was babysitting for friends. From there on, things would develop into a relationship, and she would move in with Smith at his home in Furnivall Road in Gorton. She would conceal the age difference between them from her parents, Tommy and Margaret Bates. Bates' mother stated of her first time meeting with Smith after the two had started living together. "As soon as I saw Smith, the hairs on the back of my neck went up. I tried everything I could to get Kellyanne away from him." She would end up leaving Smith because of arguments with him. But not long after, they would make up and she would move back in with him in November of 1995, which would be a terrible mistake. Soon her parents would begin to notice bruises on her, which she would explain away as being the result of accidents. She would become increasingly withdrawn, and in December of 1995, she would resign from her part-time job. In March of 1996, her parents received cards from her for their anniversary and birthday, but only Smith had written in them. When Bates' brother tried to visit her at the house, Smith said she was not at home. And when a concerned neighbor asked about her, she was briefly shown through an upstairs window. On April 16, 1996, Smith reported to authorities that he had accidentally killed his girlfriend during an argument in a bathtub, claiming that she inhaled water and as a result of it, died. He mentioned that he tried to resuscitate her, but was unsuccessful. Strangely, he had told police that she would often pretend to be unconscious. When police arrived at Smith's address, they would find Bates' naked body in a bedroom and her blood trailing throughout the house. A post-mortem examination would reveal over 150 separate injuries were found on her body. During the last month of Kellyanne Bates' life, she had been kept bound, sometimes tied to a radiator or a piece of furniture by her hair, or other times by her neck using a ligature. William Lawler, the home office pathologist who examined Kelly's body, said, "In my career, I have examined almost 600 victims of homicide, but I have never come across injuries so extensive." The following injuries that were found on Bates' body were scalding to her buttocks and left leg, burns on her thigh caused by the application of a hot iron, a fractured arm, multiple stab wounds caused by knives, forks, and scissors, stab wounds inside her mouth, both hands crushed, mutilation of her ears, nose, eyebrows, mouth, lips, and genitalia, wounds caused by a spade and pruning shears, both eyes being gouged out, stab wounds to the empty eye sockets, and partial scalping. The pathologist had determined that her eyes had been removed not less than 5 days and not more than 3 weeks before her death. She had been starved, having lost 20 pounds in weight, and had not received water for several days before her death. Peter Openshaw, the prosecutor in Smith's trial, said, "It was as if he deliberately disfigured her, causing her the utmost pain, distress, and degradation. Her injuries were not the result of one sudden eruption of violence. They must have been caused over a long period and were so extensive and so terrible that the defendant must have deliberately and systematically tortured the girl. The ultimate cause of death was drowning, immediately prior to which she had been beaten over the head with a shower head." So Gillian Mazzei, a consultant psychiatrist, tells the court that Smith has a severe paranoid disorder with morbid jealousy and lives in a distorted reality. The jury takes about an hour to find 49-year-old Smith guilty of Bates' murder, sentencing him to life in prison. The judge, Mr. Justice Sachs, recommended that Smith served a minimum term of 20 years, stating, "This has been a terrible case, a catalogue of depravity by one human being upon another. You are a highly dangerous person. You are an abuser of women, and I intend so far as it is in my power that you will abuse no more." The jury was even offered professional counseling to help them deal with the distress of seeing the photographs of Bates' injuries, in which they accepted the offer. Well, that's the disturbing case of what happened to Kellyanne Bates. If you liked the video, leave me a like, and if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. Okay, well that's going to do it for this one, and I will see you guys on the next one.